Good afternoon. Welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and today we're going to make some cookies. Oh yes, because it's cookie baking time. And I was invited to a collab, a holiday cookie collab that has been organized by, I got my notes here. I want to make sure I don't mess this up. The Work From Home Homesteader. And I'm going to be making pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. It's a recipe that my family loves, and it's very simple. It's very easy. You don't need to pull out a big KitchenAid or anything like that to make it. They're just really, really good. And I wanted to let you know that there will be a giveaway on November 22nd at 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm in Eastern, so it'd be 7 my time. And there's going to be a $50 gift card given away, Visa gift card, and you must live in the US. And she's going to draw it from the videos from the random comments. So watch all the videos. I'll have the playlist down below, and you're going to find a bunch of different kind of, cookie recipes for fall, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. And well, I know these are pumpkin cookies, but we make them any time of the year. Like I said, they're a family favorite. My daughter-in-law even asked for the recipe, and she has them. My daughter has taken them to work events, and they always go over well. And we even won a cookie contest in our town. So simple is sometimes great. And this is a cookie, usually a chocolate chip cookie. I love it when it's hot and melty. These I like when they cool the next day, when the chips are hard again. They're good warm, but they're really good the next day. So let's get making them. I have my oven preheated on 350. I will have this recipe down below because no one can read my writing. And it's very simple things. I am using canned puree, but you could use, your home canned puree, pumpkin that you would drain and then puree up, or frozen pumpkin puree, whatever you have on hand. I always stock up on this, and then I do have pumpkins that I freeze too. I usually use that for pie, but I thought today I could use it for this, so I might be packaging some up in 1 cup increments. And let's get putting together the ingredients for pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. The first step is to mix together 1 cup of pumpkin puree, and this doesn't make a huge batch of cookies, 3.5 dozen. I'll keep track today and see. We need to have 1 cup of softened butter. The original recipe I took this from used shortening, and I didn't have shortening, so I did it with butter. And then I tried it later with the shortening, and we just like it with the alterations I made. So I stick with what everyone likes. So 2 sticks of butter. One egg. And 1 cup of sugar. And I don't get out my KitchenAid for this. It mixes up so easy and so quick, and it's not like a real heavy dough that you need to have the power of a KitchenAid. There's some shadows. Let me see if I can get the lighting better. Oh, that's better. This time of year can be a challenge. with the time change and everything. So I'm just going to turn on my mixer and get this all blended. And it looks kind of weird. I'll show you. It looks, to me, it always looks curdled. It's just the way the butter mixes with the puree, but it's all good. So next we just add in the dry ingredients. So it's pretty, like I said, it's a pretty simple recipe. We need 2 cups of flour. It's a very soft dough. I forgot to add some vanilla. We'll add that in now. A teaspoon of vanilla. Then we need salt, baking soda, and baking powder, and cinnamon. And it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I just use table salt for it. And that was 1/4 teaspoon, not 1/2 teaspoon. So I need to take out some. I can't. Oh, there we go. We got it. It's all good. There we go. It's 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I got enough of it out. We're good. It was all in one pile there. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I think I averted disaster. It turns out really fluffy, almost like frosting to me is the texture of it. Making sure everything is mixed on the bottom, all the wet and dry, and it is. So now we just have to get the stuff off the beaters and fold in 1/2 cup of milk chocolate chips and 1/2 cup of semi-sweet. And I've tried it with all of one or the other, and they don't taste the same. They're not bad, they're still good, but they're not as good. I know, that's weird, but that's what the family says, and I agree. I wouldn't have thought it would make that big of a difference. You know, if someone, I forget if it was Ben or Natasha, wanted them, and I didn't have any milk, so I made it with just the semi-sweet, and they just weren't as good. It's the combination that really just gives it a good flavor. So here it is. I guess the first time I made it, I thought it would be like chocolate chip cookie dough where it was like real heavy, and it's not. It's almost a cake-like cookie, but yet it's not. So, it calls for 1/2 bag of semi-sweet and 1/2 bag of the milk chocolate. I'm gonna start with 1/2 cup of each because I buy mine in bulk at the Mennonite store. And that should be good. Because it was half of a small package. This looks good. So I'm gonna clean up this mess, get the cookie sheet, and we can put them in. These, you bake them on I spray the cookie sheet, and you bake them for 10 to 12 minutes, and it's better to go on the 10-minute side. You don't wanna overcook them. Then they turn really cake-like. When they're on the 10, it's a combination of chewy and cake. I don't even know how to describe it, but they're good. That's how I describe it. So. Okay, I'm going to lightly spray my pan. And I use 2 spoons. Since it is such a soft dough. And I set my timer for 10 minutes. In like the first batch, I might need to go to 11. You know how they seem to cook faster? So I always check. You want it to look a little wet, but not really wet. If that makes sense. You can tell it's not dry on top. And these will go in for 10 minutes. Here they are after 10 minutes. And see, they're soft. You don't want them to get real browned and hard. Sometimes they might be a little darker in the middle. These aren't too much, and that was only 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let these cool and remove them and put the next batch on. Okay, here is one. It made 3.5 dozen. If I'd made them all this size, it would have made 4 dozen. I started making some bigger. You know how it goes when you... Anyway, here's the finished cookie. See, they turn nice light golden brown on bottom. If I can get it to focus. They're not really cake-like, but they kind of have more of that texture. But they're chewy at the same time. And they're not dry. A little hint of cinnamon. The chocolate isn't overpowering, and it really accents it. And they're just, whenever I take them anywhere, people always ask for the recipe. And it's just one of the favorites in our family, so I thought I would share it. Chocolate chip cookies, pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, and they're really double, both 2 kinds of chips. So I just call them pumpkin chocolate chip cookies as I'm dropping. So thank you, Lauren, for inviting me, and make sure to watch all the other videos on the playlist, and don't forget to turn into the live and comment on the video. I appreciate each and every one of you coming here today. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.